Hi everyone, and welcome to the Capricorn Weekly Tarot Bite reading for the week of June 19th through the 25th. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for soul illumination. I hope you all are having a wonderful start to your week. This reading is meant to be a mini reading for the sign of Capricorn, where we are going to be taking the general themes that came up in the collective reading for the week, and then really looking at how that is going to apply to your sign specifically. So the themes that came up in the general collective reading were based around opening ourselves up to be receptive to love and support that really wants to come in to help us be able to identify a burden we've been carrying for a long time that it's now time for us to put down and be able to start to move forward again, more in alignment with perhaps a dream or a wish or an endeavor that we really have kind of put on the back burner, so to speak, something where we just didn't think it was going to be able to happen for us. And really this week is about identifying that burden, because that burden is the block that's kind of stopping us from moving forward, moving through the gateway month of June into this new life that's coming out for us, the new version we're emerging of ourselves as. And so this is that beautiful week where we get to say, what are we taking along with us into the new that doesn't need to come? What is that baggage? Now that baggage could be physical. It could be, realizing you're working too much. It could be emotional, realizing that you're bringing forward a burden from a past relationship, or a burden from being the one that always helps others, something along those lines. Or it could be mental, where you're realizing you've gotten into a bad habit of overthinking things, or you're in a kind of a tailspin of anxiety, or it can even be where we're constantly the ones that has to overanalyze something, that we have to get it right, and we're self-critical, we have negative self-talk. So really take a look at where, and we're going to pull a card here to really see kind of where that burden is lying for you here, Capricorn. So what does Capricorn need to know for this week around the themes of receptivity, support, the pursuit of a dream, and a burden that they need to let go of? Okay, so we have two cards here. Came up. We have one of my favorite cards in this deck, which is Door to Value, number 31, that breaks down to the number 4 in the tarot, in numerology. And the number 4 really speaks to building firm foundations, especially through a hard work ethic, and the understanding that this theme kind of keeps coming up for me personally in a lot of the readings, but it's that understanding of anything worth having is worth working hard for, right? It's not something like if everything was just given away for free, we wouldn't appreciate it. So there's something here to that understanding that's coming through for you, Capricorn. And then we have Storm Warning, which is number 10. It does break down to also the number 1 in numerology. So there's the number 10, which is a completion of a cycle energy. And then you have the 1, which is the start of a new cycle. And the energy, what this card speaks to specifically in this deck, is that there's the understanding that sometimes things have to be kind of kicked up and made messy, because once that storm kind of rolls through, then it's like, okay, what's left behind is now what you're working with, that the storm kind of took away anything that was weak. I'm kind of getting the feeling between the two of these, there's a tower moment here this week. A tower moment where anything that was not built on a firm foundation, or that is not pertaining specifically to the foundation you want to continue to build on at this time, is going to kind of be blown out of the way. Now, this doesn't mean that there literally has to be something dramatic that comes in, that your life is going to turn into chaos this week. This could be that maybe you have that difficult conversation with a partner in your life, and you're like, I just, these certain things aren't working for me anymore. It can be, there is something here around this is what's going to help you identify that burden, that you guys, I think, maybe need to see your own self-worth. You need to see the worth of the new foundation you want to build There could be something tied into the financial that's coming through here. Maybe some of you are overly looking or overly worried about your finances. But there is something here where I think there's a beautiful chance this week to, again, kind of just get rid of, when we think of the burden, it's kind of interesting. I just saw in my mind's eye the kind of cartoon version of the big bad wolf, right? Coming in and blowing the house down. And when you think about the 10 of Wands that came up in the collective reading, which is carrying that heavy burden all alone, all those wands on our back, when you think about trying to put down a house with those wands, like, okay, I'm going to stop and I'm going to build my house, but I'm also so exhausted because I've built everything up. I've had to carry them for so long. I've had to do everything myself. And then all of a sudden the big bad wolf comes knocking at the door and you've built the house with these flimsy sticks. And it's like, yeah, it's going to be blown away because that wasn't what you were actually supposed to be building with those. It was almost like you needed to put those sticks down a long time ago, those wands a long time ago, and focus on building the foundation first. And then you can look for building materials. And then you gotta pour the concrete first before you just throw a bunch of sticks in the ground. So there's something about that here, about really getting to see where are those weak points? Where are those weak points because you were carrying a burden and couldn't see that you were maybe building something that was on flimsy ground, or that wasn't as strong as you were hoping to do, because, again, you were carrying either an emotional burden, a mental burden, or a physical burden in some way. And this is that beautiful week where it's like the storm can come through. Get rid of the wands so that you never have to carry them again. You don't need those. You don't need whatever aspect of your life was built with those wands. And it's time now to kind of wipe that slate clean and then look at, okay, well, what are we left with? And if this is, I'm going to pull some clarifiers here. Now, if this is financially related, where you are worried about money and you don't know if you have enough of a foundation to start to maybe move towards something that you really want to build, this could be taking a look at value from a different perspective. Value from a perspective that is not tied specifically to money, to finance. And I know that can be very difficult, especially in our American culture here, it's almost like, well, why would I do it if I don't make money from it? Or can we just live a quiet, modest life and be happy with that instead of having the boat and going on massive, fancy, overpriced vacations every month? And, it's one of those kinds of things where it's like you really need to get down to the core of what you value, not a price tag on that value, not what you think amount of money needs to be in the bank. It's what do you value now, and how can you start to build on that foundation? Because that is when the foundation is fully set. And that's when you start to put those bricks in place, that when that big bad wolf comes in the next time, those bricks won't be able to be blown down. Okay, so let's see what's going on about storm warning here. Okay, so Two of Pentacles, which is a juggling act. This is when we are kind of just going through the day-to-day. It's also where we might be juggling two different things that we're finding difficult to prioritize, where we're really being asked to choose one and prioritize it. Oh, and we have the Queen of Wands in the reverse, which I don't put reversals in my deck, so when they come out reverse, this is definitely a very pointed message. So the Queen of Wands in reverse, this can speak to someone who feels stifled, who is not expressing their emotions. It can even be someone who can come across as manipulative because they are almost like misusing their gifts to draw people in. This can actually be sometimes even a lack of confidence, but I do get kind of this feeling of someone who is stifled, someone whose creativity, because the Queen of Wands, when she's in her best element, is someone who is magical. She's like the witch archetype in the tarot. If she wants to make that bloom, if she's passionate about it, she's going to make it happen. If she wants to When you see here, she has her black cat and she's holding a sunflower. This is always the energy for me of blooming where you're planted, meaning no matter where you are, you can make manifest what you want. You can find something you're passionate about. You can find something that you love. You can go out there and be this firebranded kind of individual who gets, to be seen. And so there's something here about maybe there's an aspect of yourself that needs to come out and be seen. Maybe there's creativity, passion that's been kind of like, walled up in there because juggling too much of just the basic day-to-day tasks. This can also be too, for some of you who are dealing with an Aries, this does harness the energy of an Aries. And so when it's like this can be, again, someone who, Aries in their best quality is someone who takes action and moves forward and initiates. But it can also be someone where when it's reversed, this is a person who maybe is just go, 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 go to the point where you can't keep up with them, or this person is constantly trying to make war. They're constantly trying to fight. They're constantly trying to create a battle, but not in the way that Aries can do so for forward movement. It's more about somebody being petty, somebody just wanting to fight for the sake of fighting. So there could be a little bit of that in your life, and maybe you're juggling that at this point, that kind of constant fight. Or for some of you, you're getting lost in the day-to-day, and your energy has been, like literally your creative energy, your fiery passion has been dimmed a little bit. So I'm going to see here what's going on with the door to value. What do we need to know about the door to value? So we have 8 of Wands, which is fast movement. It's also a card of communication as well, quick communication. Let's see what's coming in. So this may need to be, you either maybe are overwhelmed by a lot going on. Okay, so we have 3 cards that came out. We have the High Priestess, we have 2 of Cups, and we have 7 of Wands. The High Priestess is someone who is sitting quietly from a place of knowing. This is the individual who has made a decision within. The 2s, you have a lot of 2s coming in. You have the 2 of Pentacles, the 2 of Cups, and the High Priestess, which is the number 2 in the tarot. The number 2s ask us to make a decision. 2 of Pentacles asks us, okay, how we need to prioritize. How can we change up how we prioritize something so that maybe one pentacle is planted and nurtured, even though we're always going to have other things around that. How can we find out of the 2 pentacles what's the more important one? 2 of Cups, this is making the decision to come together vulnerably. This is deciding who you want to partner with and how you want to share of yourself with that other person. High Priestess, this is that deep internal knowing. Sometimes it can be what's hidden. She holds the book of kind of that universal knowledge. She sits in between the gateway of both the dark and the light aspects of herself. But this is someone who is deeply in touch with there is a knowing here. And that knowing may be maybe where there has been a lack of the 2 of Cups. Maybe there is this deep knowing of where there hasn't been this kind of intimate connection or partnership with someone. Or maybe this is knowing that this is what you want and that this is what you value now. You value this intimate connection. You value the partnership. And with the 7 of Wands, this is saying it's okay to defend that. It's okay to defend your desire to meet others who can share your cup. It's okay if you want to have a choice now to maybe, which is interesting with 8 of Wands, maybe go in a new direction or just communicate. This could be like literally communicating to someone that something needs to change, that maybe the values have changed, or again, with the 2 of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, there's something here around that there needs to be a communication around or to this energy. We've gotten a little far. I didn't realize how far we got into your reading. So it's supposed to be about 10 minutes or less. So I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to wrap this up, Capricorn, but there's something here around it's time to address and speak to the day-to-day, either the repression of your own passion and you not feeling like you have a release on that, or addressing a relationship in your life that maybe has been kind of in a place that's combative, again, where it's been petty, where there's been a little bit of, one partner, either kind of trying to manipulate the other partner, or another partner just looking to fight for the sake of fighting. And how can that, really be resolved? And how can you speak about really defending this kind of inner knowing of community, of connection, of who you want to intimately share yourself with, and how can you bring that into your sense of what you value now and being able to express from that place. Okay, Capricorn, I'm going to leave it there. I hope there is something here about unity with another and to defend your position on that. So that could be where maybe you are just having, sorry guys, I don't know why that won't. There we go. This could be, if you're in a relationship, that it's time to kind of look at that and clear the air. Just clear the air in the relationship. Like, hey, we're not going to communicate in this way anymore. I know we're meant to be together. I know we can come together, and let's move forward, fast movement towards building on a foundation that we truly value together. All right, Capricorn, I'm going to leave it there. I really think that is your message for the week. All right, if you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I will be releasing next week's Tarot Bite readings for the week of the June 26th. And if you'd like to view your full tarot scope for the month of June, I do have a full reading up for each sign on my channel if you'd like to view that. Otherwise, I will see you all next week for next week's Tarot Bite reading. Bye, Capricorn.